All right, hello. Hope you all are doing well. We're on discussion number 7, covering chapter 3 related to communication. So for this week's discussion, you will complete and answer the following. Number 1, referencing the materials in chapter 3 on gender and communication. I want you to respond to the following quote. Quote, men and women belong to different species, and communication between them is a science still in its infancy. Be sure to tie your thoughts to specific concepts from the chapter in order to receive full credit. So you're responding with your thoughts and reactions, but also make sure you're connecting them to class materials. Number 2, how do men communicate stereotypically? In other words, what do men tend to focus on in their communication? How do you talk to men? What are some stereotypical things that men tend to do when they communicate? What do they tend to focus on? These are stereotypes, so they may not be true of everyone, but there are tons of them. So come up with some, get a good list going. And then you'll do the same for women. So number 3, how do women communicate stereotypically? What do women focus on in their communication? How do you talk to women? What is it that they tend to do when they communicate, again, stereotypically? And then number 4, what are your attitudes about conflict in romantic relationships? Give one reason or example of how conflict could be positive, and maybe one reason or example of how conflict could be negative. So all of these things kind of relating back to communication, some of the gender stereotypes that we have. We'll all promise not to be offended by the stereotypes. Sometimes they're true, sometimes they're not. But I look forward to seeing what you come up with. And then I'll see you next week for love and intimacy.